Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Damage. Today, bringing you all a brand new video, and today is going to be an uncut rant about the changes to this beautiful piece of machinery, the Dallara P2 car. This is probably the most annoying thing I think I've ever experienced in sim racing. So, if you did not know, the iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona is next weekend. Not this coming weekend in 2 days, but next weekend. So a week from now, I would say. Um, and the LMP2 car has been given a significant change. Um, what makes it even better is that the post from Christian is at 10:52 p.m. our time on the 13th. Update went live on the 14th at like what, noon ish? Something like that. So we got an extremely short notice. And if you're anything like me, you probably have like, a daily job. And I wasn't just scanning through the iRacing forums last night at 11 o'clock p.m. I was probably laying in bed watching YouTube videos trying to go to sleep. So I did not learn of this until about 1 or 2 o'clock this evening. Okay. So let's do the math. Oh yeah, that's after this update. So what exactly happened that makes me so annoyed? Well, listen. So the first thing that changed is that the power has been reduced by 40 horsepower, a 6.66% reduction in relative to the 2020 specification. This is to match the car to the 2021 regulation change for LMP2s globally, which makes absolutely zero sense. This is iRacing, and it's the only LMP2 car in the sim. Why do you have to change the power of the car? Okay, it would make more sense if we had hypercars, LMDHs, or DPIs, but we don't. We don't have any of those. So it makes zero sense to BOP, basically, the top class of one of your most premier events of the season. The Daytona 24 Hour on iRacing, the top class this season, is the LMP2, and it has been given a 40 horsepower reduction. For what reason? To make GTEs closer? It makes zero sense whatsoever, at least for right now. Now, maybe later on, maybe whenever they release more cars, maybe they have some stuff in the woodworks. I really hope so. Maybe they'll bring out a Cadillac DPI right before Hypercar happens, because that's just how it works. Okay, so there's that one. The next one is pretty nice, honestly. This one doesn't really affect too much. Tire warmer temperatures have been increased. This change reduces the time taken to bring the tires up. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here's one of the two big ones. If you thought the horsepower change was big, this one is massive. Camber limits have been revised to better match real-world limits. Front and rear camber limits are now negative 2.9 in the front and negative 1.9 in the rear. This will be the change that has the most impact upon your setups if you are running higher cambers. Well, guess what? I was running negative 3.9 in the front, and I think max or close to max camber in the rear. I guess minimum. So that completely just throws my setup philosophy and everything that I had going for myself out of the window. Because, yeah. And then the last bullet here. 2 new adjustments have been added to the garage screen. Push rod length and third pin length. These require more detailed explanation, so I'll talk about them individually, though functionally they are similar. Okay, so I'll just drag this over here so you can read the push rod length here. You can pause and read through that if you would like. And then the same with the third pin length. Okay, so you have that. Okay, so first of all, my recommendations for starting push rod length and third pin lengths for normal tracks are as follows. Okay, well, uh, yeah. So how do I make my old setups work down? My advice is to note down your current static ride heights and spring deflections prior to the patch. Then, using the push rod and pin links from the iRacing Daytona setup or those mentioned above, reset your cambers to the new rule limitations and readjust your ride heights using spring perch offsets, torsion bar turns, both corner spring and third spring. Don't forget to reset your toe in. You should find that your old setup now passes tech and drives very similarly to previously. Oh, and here's another thing that doesn't make any sense. I would like to mention that the power reduction will not result in any difficulty passing GTE cars at Daytona. You should still enjoy a 20 km/h straightaway speed advantage, and lap times will increase by approximately 1 to 1.5 seconds. You may also find that you can reduce the number of differential clutch plates you are using, since you are putting less power to the ground and require less drive side locking to handle this. Cool. I want to know what they're talking about here. The only place to overtake isn't the straights. I do not want to sit behind a GTE through the entirety of the infield just because the car doesn't have enough acceleration to actually pass a car before the kink. It makes no sense. Unless I'm on the rear diffuser of the car ahead of me, which, by the way, has better traction and accelerates faster now, if I do not have like the perfect corner exit and get the power down quickly coming out of the corner behind a GTE car, I cannot pass them before the kink. So then what do? Then I have to go for a move in the international horseshoe, or else I'm going to be stuck behind that car all the way through the outlet. That is multiple seconds of time lost. Whereas before, it was very easy to overtake a GTE car there if it was a feasible gap to overtake with. If you were a half a second or so behind coming out of the first horseshoe, you could pass that car in front of you pretty handedly before the outlet. Now you can't. So you're going to lose that much more time. Makes no sense. So if any of you have any suggestions on how I can look at my old setups, static ride heights, and spring deflections to be able to get back to that, if there's anybody with any suggestions on how to do that, please tell me in the comments, because I do not remember my static ride heights or spring deflections because I changed them so much coming up towards where I was yesterday. And where I was yesterday was a pretty good place, but I don't really take notes whenever I'm changing setups. I just have a bunch of setups that I, just change one thing at a time on, save the next rendition, and remember which rendition was the best. So, if any of you have any suggestions, please just let me know in the comments below. But I'm extremely annoyed, and I personally do not believe that this was a very smart thing to do by the devs coming up towards one of the biggest races of the year. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you agree with me or disagree with me, we can talk about it in the comments down below. Please be a little bit on the civil side. Don't just blow everything up. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. I'm pretty torn. While I am looking forward to these changes, it's just not a very good idea to do something like this a week before Daytona when the car's been out for 4 months, and you do this a week before the Daytona 24 hour. It makes zero sense. I mean, I guess I just have to start from the iRacing Daytona setup and go from there. I'll just, chuck my existing aero, anti-roll bars, and diff configurations on there, and, that'll just magically make me go 32s again on full fuel, right? Because now I'm struggling to do mid 34s. It's so annoying. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.